ones, honestly, and they've been. I know teams have been running that a lot already in this tournament. So.
And we've got 3 Naga players on the other team.
Для этого по хэштегу AskYouMajor, который, может быть, появится сейчас с плашкой на экране, вы можете задавать вопросы нашим аналитикам. Самые интересные вопросы мы будем показывать на экране и зачитывать.
Continues with Team Liquid versus Newbie, going head-to-head. One man in particular who will be looking forward to this is Faith. We've already said he has the opportunity to go through
Chess so much. Like, look at Monkey King. So
yeah, sure. I mean, Peter, we were speaking to PBD at DAC, and he suggested that sometimes with MP in particular, he was talking about the inconsistencies come from too much theory crafting.
Actually, that's why they've had to role swap. GH playing mid Naga. Matu was playing support and Kuro was playing carry for a little while. If you go back to the last major qualifiers, like this has always been a team who struggles to find a way to use these incredibly skilled players.
I was going to talk to you all about that, role swapping. When you've got potentially the best player in the world, why do you take him out of the lane?
That's a Kuro decision, right? I think.
Ведущего. Так что давайте действительно поддержим команды и хорошей им игры.
И Фурион.
Хорошие баны, особенно Фурион. Вот
готовились.
Висп, которого все банят против Liquid. Настолько ли он страшен, даже не знаю.
Фурион настолько.
Players like, Baboka Monkey King, they're going to be outstanding on a hero, but you can only take a hero so far.
Yeah.
They do seem to have been figured out in the group stages.
I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that Liquid picked their 2 supports. Doom will go to the jungle, A will try to run in, and running into jungle isn't that scary. You're
it
right,
sounds awful versus Treant and Spectre, though.
She is super good in teamfights versus Doom, though.
Now, Liquid need to... Again, the bright sides for me in this game that I need to point out for them is they have... Or if you want to play a greedier style, you need to take the split push route that Liquid have done.
Yeah, I'd say somewhat. It's how do you fit him back in?
But he seemed more team-orientated, should we say?
Definitely.
When he
even the heroes that he played. He played like DK and stuff like that. Who likes playing DK?
I like playing
Viper.
I was going to say,
Naga,
he likes playing Naga.
What about
DK
Viper?
as well, and Pugner.
Viper is my original hero. Goes up. That joint has to go somewhere, There's science laws about that.
Have you been playing some Broodmother recently? Has something happened to you?
It's funny because we actually tried that hero in scrims and I was playing on MP. But no, I want to say something about Liquid and Fada. It's like,
okay.
Oh man, I was enjoying myself too much talking about like cancerous heroes. I had a good point, I swear.
В турнире Кентавр может появиться и у какой команды вероятнее всего, если, конечно, и появится.
Virtus.pro.
Я, кстати,
Андрей сейчас скажет, на самом деле, что ни за что никогда.
It's a lot of run at them team fight, I guess. Like Doom will run in, you have this Sigil and Shards, like just messing with your pathing and your ability to move. I really like the next man from Team Liquid, catch those in lane and Legion will catch them. That's like the easiest way to make ganks. Because what happens when you only have one catch is they see them for a second on the mid-map and they know they're safe. They feel so good farming. Ember as support Doom. I think support Doom was countering Ember for a bit because you'll get the purge creep and sort of run at him mid. But Ember is probably the hardest hero to Doom in the game. Yeah. He has like 10 wins.
Stage will manage to take the victory against Newbie. What a performance. Great team play from Liquid. A slow start like we saw in game 1, but this time Liquid...
The late game secured, right? It's really hard to break high ground. So if they don't have a good tower hitter, you can get away with that. But if they do, maybe you can just go like 2.5 or a big playmaker on the 3.
As you can see, they're coming back out to the booze right now. I have to say, they look in a much better mood than they did at the end of the first game, that's for sure.
Playing Dota like that, it makes it easy for a team like Team Liquid to play. I think you want to make Team Liquid feel uncomfortable. I think they have a style that they're very good at. They'll play Naga with some Legion Commander, will pick you off using the split push and pressure. But they haven't looked at, like, in the mid-game when you're farming and picking people off, that Team Liquid start to shine. And I think the easiest way to beat something good later on in the game is just to make it so it never happens earlier.
Right.
I think Liquid has identified that the Nyx from game 1, from what we've talked about, is basically the one that catches Team Liquid when they're trying to be greedy. So they want to get that out of there.
Okay. So maybe we go back to that LC.
That's, I think after the last game, like we started to maybe doubt the hero, but Newbie will stick by it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good hero if you want to pressure them really early, because LC is known as the offline is the best.
Where you see hero banned twice in a row in 2 games, you know it's going to be banned a 3rd game in a row, so you've got to pick it now if you want it. Even though you mentioned the Dazzle, really impactful, the Doom, they played it twice in a row, but they decide Lycan is more important than those 2.
Yeah, I love it. If you do pick your supports a bit later, you tend to have a better early game. Supports control the tempo. They can oftentimes determine, like...
God Strength, he's no longer getting cursed if Wyvern's silenced.
That's a really strong pick. When you have these single target jumpers like Legion and Sven, that you need their single target jumps to work, you either have to have something like a Warlock to follow up on them, or you need something like Kaka, more of these like Romy heroes, the Sand King, these Earth Spirits.
Bounty
Those
Hunter,
are, yeah, the Bounty
Reiki,
Hunters.
Perhaps. Bounty Hunter I would like.
Bounty Hunter could be interesting. Just make every pickoff you... Okay, so the Earth Spirit. It's a...
All execution at the end of the day, and it was just that the execution from Liquid was that much tighter. They were able to find those tiny gaps in what Newbie were throwing them in terms of the silence, the duel, and then that last fight as well. Keeping Matumba Man alive, we saw the power at the tusk with the snowball. It's so hard then for Newbie to finish off the kill that they initiate upon. They only really could fight with Global Silence. Without it, they just didn't have a chance against Liquid's cohesion and team play.
It's really important for them if they want to have any hopes of getting to top 4 or even the finals that they start picking up some steam, because they've been looking really shaky, but it looked to me like the team grew a lot throughout this series. Like
3 персонажей, ну...
Нравится.
Нравится.
If you ever wanted a demonstration, I guess this entire series is a perfect example of it, isn't it? Team Liquid versus Invictus Gaming. Massive game for both teams. Liquid flying under the radar a little bit as they head into this formerly double final reaches before. Both times, unfortunately, dropping to OG and to Secret. Looking to reach the semi-finals for the...
Like, they have Doom. I think they can just run into the Magnus and not really be that scared, so I already think that's already one easy solution that they have, as well as a TA. I think it's pretty good core versus
Same for Lycan. Like, a lot of heroes that Liquid like to pick are quite good against the Magnus. That said, I do think XXS plays the best Magnus in a competitive scene right now. So, we'll have to see what Kuro thinks about that. He has very high nuke damage and are slow, and a Tuskar who has very low damage versus these strong roamers on IG. I think Monkey is not a strong roamer on his own, but...
They're 4 on 5. They have 50 seconds on Miracle that they need to defend their tower for. They usually
You stand there going... and you're waiting, and,
See,
you're,
that's
kind
why I
of
don't
and you're just sort of
smile.
smiling, and it feels really forced, and then suddenly they go, yeah, I'm doing a video. And you're like, well, why didn't you tell me? I've been standing here for like 20 seconds with a stupid grin on my face.
Now they got a great...
You smoke, and then the wolf dies, you're like...
Ugh.
Oh.
Anti-mage time?
Yeah, I think it's a very good anti-mage game. Earthshaker is a problem for that hero, but I don't think it matters.
They have
Like,
LC too.
Yeah, they have a save.
Yep.
They have 2 saves, right? The Warlock hits enough too, because it interrupts it. Even a Mud King stuns enough, so it looks.
And I think his Spectre was phenomenal in this game.
What a recovery as well, considering the start he had in the laning stage. He really found his way back in.
Увидеть вообще на первый пик, потому что это стандартная турнирная вот эта мета, когда команды уже понимают, этот герой что-то слишком силен, ни у кого уже нет ни желания, ни мотивации, ни идей придумывать какие-то там контрпики, проще взять самого сильного героя с самым хорошим винрейтом и законтрить. Ну, точнее, не законтрить, а победить.
But you know, hero with stuns or something to impact the fights.
I think they have the
does,
Ember, so they don't want to play against the Nyx, because he'll just die to Nyx and a Spectre.
Burning's recovery, ending the game 10-4-16. This man...
At least I feel like Darkseer is not getting the pick rate that he deserves. I think the hero is still, after these countless nerfs,